Hello, good morning to you all. Happy end of July. It is obscenely hot up here in Canada, so I hope you are being safe, staying hydrated, and enjoying your time with friends and family when you're away from the market or doing research on the market. I have my new setup for my website up, so please give me feedback on what you think. I've totally revamped it. I want to make it more user-friendly for people, like where to log in for the watch list, how to sign up for the watch list, the new trading room, tools I recommend, the on-demand videos that I've created, and mailing list if you guys want to stay up to date, and then just really revamped it. So please give me your feedback on that. Really important. I want to make it super user-friendly. And let's go ahead and get a bit into the week. So right here, I've got forexfactory.com up, and you can see we've got unemployment numbers coming up on Monday, and that's actually Japan though. So let's see, going into Tuesday for USD, we've got personal spending, personal income, consumer confidence, pending home sales. And the big one on Wednesday, because we do have the FOMC meeting on the 30th and 31st, we've got oil numbers coming out, FOMC statement, which they are anticipated to go ahead and cut interest rates, which might have already been priced into the market with the big run up that we've had. So definitely check out Forex Factory if you have not yet. Free site, amazing. I'll put it in the content information down below. Oh, I forgot to mention over here too, if you guys do like trade ideas, they are doing their 4 times a year test drive coming up on August 12th. So you can go to it right there on my website, or the link is down below as well. And we'll get into the indexes for the week in review. So we have the SPY here. I drew this channel, which really, it has been, oscillating between going out, breaking out, coming down, testing right here, going out, breaking out, and then testing right here. And now it seems like we're in that breakout mode. We could be headed up to 306, 307 before pulling back. And I wanted to show you TrendSpider as well. Awesome, awesome tool. So TrendSpider, you can see, also has that same trend line drawn right here. And let me zoom in a little bit. It's a little slow with the video recording going on. So we broke out, right? We tested it back here on the 12th, and then we broke out from this trend line now on the 26th. The next trend line, if we do break out above, these are the actual raindrop candles, which are pretty cool too. So you can actually see that Friday's volume, most of the volume was above at the end of the day. Now, whether that's going to be selling or buying, we shall see on Monday. But since we are above, and this is the first test here, second test, and then third, we've broken through. It looks like a nice cup and handle here. So we could be headed on up to test this upper trend line up here, 325 area. So that's a big one to keep on watch. And we'll go and we'll look at NASDAQ as well. NASDAQ, same scenario. We've broken out, set new highs as well. So we've got bigger volume that happened on Thursday, and then Friday broke out above. We have IWM, the Russell. So it looks like we're going to have a test up here, 158. Let's see, I put it 158.01. If we can break out above that, we've got this nice cup and handle scenario here again. And then the next test would be the high, right? Up here at 161.11. And Amazon, we had some big names report on Thursday, one of the biggest days in earnings for all the big indexes, because we had Amazon, Google, Starbucks, Intel, and some other major players. We had over 22% of the NASDAQ reporting on Thursday. If you haven't checked out the blog post, definitely do. It's really cool to see, and I show you some cool tools about ETFs as well to see which ETFs could be affected if you want to try to hedge your positions and that sort of stuff. So with Amazon, right, we actually came down. I drew this trend line before earnings, came down. Here's the 21 EMA, and when we pull back on the 45-minute chart, you can see it's hovering. That's the VWAP, right? So it actually closed right along the VWAP. We went down below it. It tested 924, which was the aftermarket hours low, and then it bounced up. So, and the volume was pretty big down here when it after it sold off, for getting into it down here as well. Once it sold off, looks like people are getting into it. So looking to see if we can really break this 50 SMA on the 45-minute chart. I've really been tracking the indexes and major stocks, and when it breaks down below, it tends to be a short until it can break above. However, entering when it is so far away from the 50 SMA, to me, is fairly risky. So a good short entry would be, to me, would be right near the 50 SMA on a 45-minute chart. And then you can see, like right here, it held up above, and then it had a big move before it broke down. So here, say potentially on the 25th would have been a good potential short entry, but of course it would be risky because you had earnings after hours, but it was holding below. So it could have been potentially a good put to buy, and then it broke down, and then it's just closed down below. So I would watch that as a potential, trend line. For me, I really do track that as a trend line of the stock overall, the 21 EMA as potential entries as well to get in and out on the 45-minute chart. So you can see up here would have been a good, once it broke the 21 EMA, potentially, and the 200 simple moving average to the downside. That's another indicator as well. You can see it tested the 200 here, tested, ran up above, and then broke down. And so the first test would be that 50 SMA to me, and then the 200. If it breaks above the 200 and the 50, then we're pretty bullish, and it should be continuing on up, up to 2,500. Now, let's get into our potential watch list for the week. Potential longs and potential shorts. I do say potential because the market is obviously going to decide, but if the trend does continue, then it would be a potential long if the resistance is broken. If the support is broken, then it's a potential short. So as with the stock market, you have to be nimble and you have to go either direction. So here we have the first potential long, and as always, guys, please do your due diligence and trade with proper risk management, as all trading does hold risks. I did have my Series 7, but it is no longer current, so this is all my personal opinion, and you must trade properly with your own risk management. So ABBV, I would look for support at 67.50 right here. You can see that was pretty much support for a while now, and then resistance of 68.01 back here, so the next level up, and watching for that to be broken to the upside. On the daily chart, you can see that it did have a downward trend, had a dividend, pulled back, and if it can break above, also that 68.07, 68.06 is the 8 EMA on the daily, so that would be a pretty good trend change as well to the upside, so keeping that on watch. It does have 1.47 billion in the float and 49.88% short float volume. Oh, you guys can see up here, come and join the training pit. That is going to be starting August 5th. The link is right on my website as well, and also down in the information below, so check it out. It's based for traders that really are, want to reset their trading and get the good basic ground rules, as well as learning certain softwares. We will be covering certain softwares, as well as different sites and tools, just like I mentioned, Forex Factory as well. So definitely check it out. Definitely worth it if you are newer to trading. So we've got ABEV. So I would look for support of 516 and resistance of 526. You see it here on the daily chart that if we do break above 544, we're going to have a nice run up, potentially up to 643 area. And they did just have earnings, and it's second day, so typically you will see a third day continuation. Next one on the potential long list, and ABEV does have 15.73 million. It was 43% short float on Friday. So we have MPX, Marine Products. They had earnings as well, had 2 green up days, so looking for that third continuation if we can break this 50 SMA right here. So a support of 1443, resistance of 1493. It does have 7.3 million in the float, so this one could be a low float runner if there does get volume behind it. So keep that one on watch. Next potential long is USNA, USANA Health Sciences. Again, earnings winner. This did have its third day and pulled back a little bit, but it could go up and test this 50 simple moving average, and we are in this gap fill area right here. So I would look for it to potentially come to the bottom of this candle here, which would be a low of 69.58, which is a good $3 move from where we are right now. It does have 13.4 million in the float, and it was 45.22% short float volume on Friday. Next potential long is CHNE. We've got it breaking out, setting new highs for the year. all-time highs overall as well, lifetime breakout. So I would look for support of 381.81 and resistance of 386.47. You know, the risk, obviously, if it does break down below that, it would be a potential short, as it would be testing, but it did have earnings and it's up, so potential 2 more days to the upside. For our potential shorts, we have Facebook right here, which tested the highs, broke down through that 21 EMA. So looking for support of 197.10 to be broken and resistance of 226. I forgot to tell you, CHE does have 15.5 million in the float, and it was 74% short float volume on Friday. So Facebook, and then next potential short, Facebook does have 2.3 billion in the float. LUV, for the airlines, obviously being affected with Boeing, they have the biggest fleet of the Boeing Maxes. That really affected them with earnings for their earnings report. And it's a big expense, right? They've got pilots on the ground that are not flying. They still have to pay them. And the airplanes are grounded where they are. They can't even move them. So that's potentially hurting LUV for this earnings season. So it was a red day, looking for 2 more days of continuation, potentially down to the 50 SMA before we might see a bounce up from there. So support to be broken of 53.23 and 54.10 for resistance. It does have 550 million in the float. Next potential short, Raytheon. So Raytheon keeps testing the high. It's pulled back. It did have a gap up, so it might have that potential to fill that gap down to the downside. So I would look for support of 188.15 to be broken, or resistance of 189.79 to the upside. It does have 281 million in the float. And EDU, same thing, had great earnings. 3 green days up, first red day down, potential gap fill down to the bottom down here of 101, or even all the way down to 100, so potential $5 move to the downside. I would look for support of 104, I don't know why it's not here, 104.71 to the downside for support to be broken. So let's put it down here, and we'll make that red. And then for resistance, I have 105.79. So let's go that. 105.79 right over here, or 105.80. So really breaking out of this channel one way or the other. Did have bigger volume end of day close. So they might be trying to fake out people with that gap fill to the bottom, but looking for that to potentially, break down further after having good earnings, and we've got this gap to the bottom. Also depends on what happens with the market overall. If it's a red market going into Monday, that might drag it down and cause that gap to be filled. It does have 158 million in the float for EDU. And then we have ROP, Roper Technologies. So Roper Technologies had earnings, red day, came down, tested the 50 SMA, and I don't know why it's not there too. So I would be looking for support to be broken. Let's go ahead and do resistance first here. 36 right here, 36.92, 366.92, 366.88 area, and down here of 364.09, 364 area to be broken to the downside. You can see that that one has had a nice run up. However, if we do break this 50 SMA, we could be going on down here testing 358 area and then on down to the 350s. So it might have a nice $16 move to it before it finds a support area and bounces up. Also potential long overall, we have CYH. So CYH, obviously this was on my list before, as support and resistance. So we've got earnings coming up. It does look like it found support down here around 2. It's up to 215. We have the 8 EMA here. If it does break this, it might continue on up to 234. Might have a nice 18-cent move before we go ahead and see it pull back. So keep this one on watch. As always, guys, if you like my content, please like and subscribe. If there's anything you want to see, please put it in the comments below, or you can email me, jane@sujanetrade.com. Have a great week ahead. Carpe profit, guys.